instead of having to always come up with the content on top of it.
I think it's hard too to promote every single thing that's out there and that Beachbody is offering. Like for me personally, like Sagi and his workouts, like they're not for me, and they're not for my people. What I'm doing, because I'm doing the autumn workout, like that's kind of what I'm trying to get people prepped for the autumn workout when it comes out. So that's like 21 Day Fix, 21 Day Fix Extreme, Hammer and Chisel. Like that's what I'm promoting. So I feel like if I'm trying to promote all these different things, people are confused and like, wait, what are you doing now? What group are you promoting? What's going on? Like I just feel like when you're trying to post things on social media, I try to stay in one lane. So it's hard.
We're not supposed to mention it because it's supposed to be curiosity.
Yeah,
so we have to hint at so many different things without talking about it, without taking pictures of the products. So I agree. I agree. Like I'm thinking more towards, it's almost hard to just focus on the individual small launches too. Like to get your whole team ramped up every single time is hard. Like planning for January and crushing autumn's release, I think is a lot. Like that's where my head's at too, as far as game plan and scheduling.
Yeah. Like these 1 week things, like I loved Sean Week. I thought it was awesome. But like the 1 week things, it's hard to attract new people. Like it was easy to tell my challenge group, listen, this is what's going on. You've got a week of workouts from Sean T coming up. But to try to promote it to new people, it's not enough time and it's not a big enough program to get people involved in it. And maybe I'm not promoting it the right way, which leads to what Laura said about just having a little bit more hand-holding for us to tell us what we need to be saying and what we need to be doing. But I don't know. I love the week-long things, but I don't know that a new person coming in is going to necessarily be attracted to Sagi having a week of hard labor. Like, I don't know. That's just kind of my thoughts on it.
And I think I don't think you're alone on that side. I think the majority of coaches I would assume, feel the same way as you guys on that one. So anyways, lessons learned from both sides of the table. Maybe I'll have enough guts to give my opinion into Jeff Hill about stuff like this, because I think your guys are exactly right. And I honestly, I wasn't there. We weren't there when they thought up these things, and I don't know what their objective was. If it was an acquisition stunt, or if it was a retention stunt, or what it was. That being said, the content is there. There's good. What I do love is that we're building a good library for all access users, and that's definitely a plus. Definitely a plus. And it kind of leads into our conversation of time management. I want to get there in just a second. I do want to talk quickly about this month of August. I don't know if Jill, did you go for the 10 for 10?
I went for it. I'm still going for it.
Okay.
It hasn't happened yet.
Okay. And I know Lindsay, I know Laura, I know their situation. And so I'm just curious. 10 for 10, Team Cup. The month's, let's call it over. Although it's not over. We got to push, but let's call the month over. What were your lessons learned? Let's go around the horn, whether for good or for bad. I want to know what you learned during a month where we pushed people pretty darn hard to sell.
I don't know what I think. It was a tough month for me personally, in terms of selling challenge packs. I'm not going to make excuses, but just there's a lot of stuff going on, selling, buying a house, doing this 80-day obsession, that this business kind of felt a little bit on the back burner. But with that in mind, like I need these 10 points to be able to qualify to go to leadership. So I have been pushing hard, and all I've been getting from people is, I'm going to wait till the fall. I'm going to wait till September to start something new. So I get like August is such a good month to push because I get it. But I think in people's lives, it's the end of the summer. It's kids going back to school. Everyone wants to start something in the fall or in September. So to maybe have the 10 for 10 in September would have been like really good for somebody like me, because I'm just not sure how many people in August are really thinking about starting a new health and fitness routine.
I'm sure that's why they did it to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? like, because they know it's a hard month for people to hit, so they're trying to push us even harder. Because
yeah, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm sure Success Club numbers are higher in September than August.
Right. Yeah, I totally get why they did August. But it's definitely a tough month for a lot of people. But with that being said, I love the push and I love the added incentive. It definitely makes me, it makes me want to work harder and do better. So I do love the little added incentives that they have, for sure.
Yeah, it is an interesting point. You know, you're the second person to mention that today, as far as people saying they want to wait till September because August is crazy town. And to tell you the honest truth, the people that are not on this call is because school is starting up and it's crazy. And I get that. Interesting thoughts. Laura, let's hear what you learned in August.
Well, August was wacky for me too because I had surgery a month ago, which was kind of nice because I've been out of work, so I've been able to focus just on Beachbody since I've never been able to do that before. So it's kind of been a double-edged sword. So it's actually been a really strong month for me as far as having more time and being able to recruit and hitting higher Success Club numbers. But I do think sometimes they pile a little bit too much on, so it's hard for me as a leader of my team to know where to really focus people. I always try to have a cup team and, you know, want to push them and give them the resources, and people start excited. But I never really get my teams off the ground. Like, I thought this month, like, I'll lead by example and I'll show them, like, I'll get higher Success Club numbers and they'll be excited and motivated that way. And still the same results. Like, I can't get coaches that aren't like I can't get them to turn it on. Like, they're so excited, but I don't know how to get them to even get that first sale and first success. I wish that Cup did it for people and excited them, but I think so much they don't even really know what that means and what Team Cup is. And I try to just say it's a friendly competition where we try to just help as many people as we can for this month. And still, like, they sit down at their desk and they just don't know where to start. And that's, you know, probably on me to show them better. But I don't see that really being a push for them. 10 for 10, I love the promotion. But yeah, it's been, I mean, I'm still getting 5, right? So, like, if we don't get to 20, I don't know. That's been my August.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to our conversation earlier of assuming, and I mean, I'm on that kick, and I know some of you have probably heard me talk about this already, but we're assuming maybe if I set the example, they'll just follow what I'm doing. I mean, maybe, but we're assuming way too much. And it is difficult. Granted, it's very difficult for them to get that first initial point, that first initial sale, that lift off the ground. And that's why we're leaders. We sign them up and then we help empower them to become leaders. Easier said than done. And that's why we have these mastermind calls so we can talk about that kind of stuff. But guys, to Laura's point, and to her credit, I talk about her a lot on my mastermind calls, and it's simply because of this. She reached out to me individually in regards to her schedule. And she has wanting to do more, but has a hard time sticking to things. And so we decided to come up with a plan, and it's working. She didn't give herself enough credit. This month has been phenomenal for her in regards to past month, and it's simply because of this accountability factor. That's what makes this business work. It's not as far as people getting transformations. Think about why they get a transformation. Yeah, we have awesome programs. Yeah, we have pretty cool nutrition plans and Shakeology. But it's because of the accountability. It's because we follow up with them. It's because we have challenges. We have these awesome things where people hold each other accountable. That's the magic of what gets people to have a transformation. If you were to take those same business practices, the same practices and implement them into business, it's the exact same result. We can't just say, okay, go be successful, just like we say, okay, go be healthy, go lose weight. People don't know how to do that. They've already tried losing weight. They've already tried being healthy. Just like they've already tried doing the business. They don't know what to do. It comes down to accountability. And it comes down to, okay, here's what I think I can do. Here's what you can hold me accountable to. And that's what Laura and I have gone back and forth on. We have a good thing going, and it's worked really good for her this month. And so if you have coaches who are struggling, who want to have that drive, they have that motivation, but they need that accountability, that's where we come in. That's why we sent. That's why we're coaches. That's where we need to. It's going to take a little bit of sacrifice on our end to follow up with them and to take notes and to remind them and all that good stuff. But that's where success comes into play. And so I know she's probably going to kill me for saying all that, but she's done awesome this month, and so she deserves a good shout out for that. Okay, Sam. So I don't know if you heard much of what we were talking about. So we want to dive into how the month of August went, because Team Cup was available and the 10 for 10. We feel like there was a lot of good opportunity for people to step up to the plate. But if we're counting the month over, I know it's not, but if we're counting the month over, what lessons did you learn from August?
What lessons did I learn? I mean, I've had a great month. I think, and one thing I've done differently this month, two things actually. One is I've made everything more personal in that every single follow-up that I've done, I have a 15-second video recorded of myself. And I've just been copying and pasting that video and sending it to everyone. And it just says the same thing I would have typed, just in a video format, and I've been getting a lot of good responses from that. So that's one thing personally I've done. And then I've also taken the focus off of just my personally sponsored coaches and really opening up my, at least, availability to the whole team. So the ways I've done that is I have a coffee talk every week, which is just an event. It's at 9 a.m. on Wednesdays, so not everybody can hop on because they work full-time or something. But we've been getting like at least 9 people on each time, and it's just like an open forum, no training plan. And then I also have a message thread that I used to do just with my PS coaches, where it's like a Success Club push. So I know you guys have heard of that, but this time I opened it up to my whole downline. And kind of like, I think it was Laura that was saying it, it's like I've taken away from Summit that I can't motivate coaches. I can't like help them hit Success Club. I can just equip them. So that's been my whole mindset, is just like, am I giving my team everything that I need? And I think with that, I mean, my coaches are doing pretty well. I have some that have huge goals and they're falling short. So that's kind of discouraging for them and for me to see. But lessons taken away, I think, is just like, I don't know, make sure that we're equipping our teams, and that I haven't taken my foot off the gas pedal. Usually I hit my Success Club goal by the middle of the month, and then I go into management mode. And this month I'm shooting for the 10 for 10. And so with that, I've been like continuing to follow up and continuing to invite. And I think that's why I've been so successful, is just because I haven't like gone into that management mode. And surprisingly, you guys probably know this, but like my team is doing even better than when I am in management mode. So I don't know, those are just some eye-opening things. And with the 10 for 10, I'm almost there. I had 2 people with just Shakeology orders, so I need to get 2 more challenge packs. So almost there.
And I don't doubt that you'll get them.
Hopefully.
Do you guys have any questions for Samantha on this?
I don't have any questions, but I love your video thing that you said you were doing. I think that's such a good idea, just to do a 15-minute clip. I always do the voice memos, but I feel like actually seeing your face makes it way more personal. So I love that idea. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I do like almost everything on Instagram now, which is why I thought of the video, because you can't send a voice clip, I don't think, on Instagram. So yeah, I just recorded it once, and then it's so easy to send. I've sent it to like 150 people already, just because all you do is like, if you guys have a list, just go to each person and send. So you just can't get blocked by Instagram by sending too many at once.
You can't on Instagram?
Like, don't do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like try not to send too many at once, because they will block you.
Yeah, I've been in jail before on Facebook. I haven't tried Instagram.
Really?
Yeah. problems you have being over here. That's great. I appreciate you sharing the wins and losses. Lindsay, I know you're playing mom. I don't know if you're able to jump in on wins or lessons learned from August. I saw her driving. The answer is no. That's okay. All right. So let's jump into the topic of time management. And that kind of leads towards, I think this was good, leading into today's topic, because if you were to ask me what makes our coaches top 10, top 50, whatever, successful, I don't think it's personality types. I think it comes down to time management, and they figured out how to be consistent and how to make it work. And they are incredibly intentional. They are starkly different from each other, but because they manage their time and business correctly, they make it work. And a lot of times, and we all fall into this trap of, yeah, we want success. Yeah, we want to do well. And we feel like we put in time, but is it productive time? Or is it time simply putting out fires? Is it busy work? Is it the hard things? Or is it, it's hard to know where to put your time. And so I do have one little graph I want to show you guys. But before I do that, I'm curious to hear what time management skills have worked for you in the past or are currently working, or if you're completely horrific at it, let's all admit it. We're nobody's judging you. But so I'm curious, because this is a best practice mastermind where we do share ideas. So I want to hear what is or maybe isn't working for you when it comes to time management. And if possible, let's quickly kind of do it around again, if possible, rather than just blank stares. Maybe you guys can share a few things. So Laura, let's start with you again.
One thing that, I read and then listened to twice The Miracle Morning. I think it took that long for it to sink in. So those practices have definitely been helping a lot. It's hard with a 11-month-old who refuses to sleep when I have my morning all worked out and then he decides not to sleep. But I think starting the day intentionally and trying to get as much done in the morning is super helpful. Like if I kind of waste my morning and I'm not sitting down at my desk until like 10 or 11 o'clock, I already feel like I'm behind the gun. I already feel like I wasted so much time. And then I start like feeling guilty on myself that I haven't gotten it done. Or I'm thinking about, because I'll never skip my workout. So then everything else will just kind of get pushed forward. I've been so much more intentional when I'm sitting down and doing work, like looking at specific people that I'm following up with, working off of lists, even with my coaches working off of lists, follow-ups working off of lists, being more intentional in groups instead of scrolling Facebook, deleting people off of Facebook that tend to just be time sucks and energy vampires on my newsfeed who I see on there all the time. And I'm like, I'm never going to interact or invite this person. So I've been deleting people off of my newsfeed. Working with my top 20% instead of just my PS coaches, because I know that also gets frustrating when you put your heart and soul into a few people and they just don't follow through. So digging deeper into my downline has been a huge help for my ego, which also helps with my time management. I had a coach send me Shalene's Smart Push journal. I thought it was really great. I'm not great at posting in it every single day, but it's kind of nice as far as like brainstorming, brain dumping, thinking about like what your push goal is and what you're doing every single day, and if it's taking you in that direction or if it's kind of taking you away from that direction. But that's what's been working for me so far.
Isn't it funny that Shalene came out with that journal?
Shocking. I know. She is such a phenomenal business person.
But she understands where success comes from. And that's why she came out with this journal. Granted, she's selling it. Granted, and she's pushing it probably more to get sales. But she understands that concept.
I mean, her book is Push, and her program's the 30-day Push. And I mean, she's always focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
But
success doesn't come by not pushing.
She kills it.
Yes, she does. Good. Jill.
I love The Miracle Morning too. It's one of like my favorite books, and I've listened to it a couple times because it just gets my head straight. So it's such a good book. My kids are my biggest time management sabotagers. So I feel like now that two of them are back in school, one will be in preschool in a few weeks. So I feel like my time is going to be a little bit better able to manage. But my best time is in the morning. And I used to work out in the morning because that was my time. But now with this S group, I can't work out till the afternoon. But I've been really trying to stick to my getting up early and doing my work during that time in the morning. Because I find that if I don't do it then the day happens, my kids happen, and I don't do anymore. I think working from lists, like Laura said, is my best. It's such an advantage for me. I need to have lists like everywhere. I need to have my list of people. I need to have my to-do list. I make my list the night before of what I need to do the following day, because I'm one of those people that wakes up in like the middle of the night anxious. Oh my God, I have to do this. I can't forget to do this. And I think about it. So I think I learned that from Shalene too, is make your list the night before and know everything that you're going to be doing that following day. So, working from lists is definitely important. I'm focusing more on my business right now as opposed to my coach's business, because I found that when I was spending too much time trying to help my coaches, it was taking away from me, finding coaches that actually want to work the business, finding great challengers, stuff like that. I was spending too much time hand-holding and doing a lot of that stuff. So I've been trying to kind of push that stuff off to some of my leaders now. So focusing more on my own business and finding more business builders has been helpful for me. But time management is tricky. Like, you just don't know what the day is going to bring. And so I feel like if you can carve that time out in the morning, for me, that works best, and definitely working off lists too.
Good. And I want to bring a point up yesterday, and I apologize if maybe we talked about her too much. It was just simply she's kicking butt. Ashley Lachlan, I don't know if you guys know who she is. Right now she's the number 13 coach in the network, and she's a 4-star. And she was on my mastermind yesterday. And I had her kind of spill the beans on how she does it. And she completely carves out times. She says, my coaches, my customers, my coaches know you will hear from me either during these hours, which are early AM, or you will hear me for after 9 PM. In between, unless it is a major disaster, unless somebody's dying and bleeding or whatever, then you're not going to hear from me because I got things to do. And that's okay. She set that standard, and it's okay that they understand that. And I don't know if that means that she does read them and just doesn't respond, or if she just completely turns it off or whatever. But you have to carve out, because you don't know how the day is going to go. And that's something that a little tip that she gave in regards to how she manages her time. And she has a little toddler, and that runs around as well. So, okay, Sam. Let's hear what works for you.
So what works for me, I swear I have ADD. So like if I do too much, my mind just gets going and like new ideas pop in, and it's just like my brain goes crazy. So what I do is I focus on one main thing every day. So Mondays are my invite days. Tuesdays are my expand my network and interact. Wednesdays connections. And then doing this, I have so many conversations going that Thursday and Friday are my follow-ups and just responding to people. So having one thing to do every single day has been so helpful. I just focus on doing more. So like, whereas before I would have done all of those things, but maybe 5 people each, or try and get 15 or something. But again, switching from topic to topic was just like throwing me off. So I do one main thing every day. And then also I try and do that in the morning. So when I wake up, it's all about me and my invites and my follow-ups, whatever it is I'm doing that day. And then the afternoon is for my team. So that's where I'll like message my coaches or set up one-on-one calls. It's also my creative time. So that's when I think of like creating a group for my team of week of hard labor. Because again, if I'm doing too much at once, I get nothing done. So I try and be very focused. In the morning, it's me and just that one activity, just in massive amounts. And then the afternoons is all about my team and trying to help them grow. sticking to that is the hard part, but that's
it's always the plan. It sounds good. Cool. Okay. Well, we have about 5 minutes left. Let me quickly jump into, maybe you guys have seen this before. Maybe you haven't. Maybe if you have, just pretend that you haven't and be amused by what I'm going to share. Let me just share my screen really quick. So this is something that Stephen Covey has come out with. This is something that maybe, anyways, so what it is he breaks everything down into a grid here. On the left-hand side, you'll see on the side it says important, and then down below it is not important. At the top is urgent, and then not urgent. These are quadrants. There's 4 quadrants, and so let's just quickly go over each of the quadrants, and then maybe where we should spend the majority of our time in regards to our day. So quadrant 1 is the top left. This is firefighting. These are crisis. These are pressing problems and deadline-driven projects. I would also put in here, this. I don't think this is a healthy place to be in. As much as I love firefighters, and I do, believe me, I wanted to be a firefighter growing up. It's react. You react. You're not necessarily being proactive. You are, helping the situation, but you're not moving the needle forward. Is quadrant 1, so firefighting. And so what he suggests doing is, okay, so if I look at yesterday, what fits into this category? And then so you kind of write down the things there. In quadrant 2, which is the top right, this is quality time. This is important, but not urgent. And this is and the reason this highlighted is because this is where they want you to be in. So this is prevention, capability improvement, relationship building, recognizing new opportunities, planning, recreation. This is where, I'm kind of going off of your creative time. This is where you feel like you are your most productive because you're putting together new groups, you're organized. You actually schedule time to be productive and come up with projects that help move your business forward. The majority of your time should be spent in here, because as you execute on these, this is where you'll get the biggest bang for your buck. Quadrant 3, the bottom left, this is not important and urgent. This is distraction. These are interruptions, some calls, some mail, some reports, some meetings, pressing matters, popular activities. This goes into the scrolling Facebook. This goes into just the distractions of life. And then the not important and not urgent, this is the absolute worst quadrant to be in. Time wasting, trivia, busy work, some mail, some phone calls, time wasted, pleasant activities. Obviously, this quadrant was based for desk work jobs, but we can implement this and take it into what we do every single day. And so if you were to look at your current day, yesterday, tomorrow, and say, okay, what makes sure that I spend most of my time in quadrant 2, and getting things planned. Obviously, we can't solely stay there because we do need to put out fires. We do need to take care of our to-do list. We all have things that are outside that we need to do. But if we can better time manage our time better, then we can, I think, feel productive at the end of the day. If we are to put our, I always say, at the end of the day, when you put your head on the pillow, do you feel like it was a productive day or not? And if the answer is no, then we need to fix that. We need to say, okay, what could I have done different? Reflection is something that I don't think we do enough of. Hence, that's why we started I think that's why we started the call off with that. I think we kind of just like, okay, what's next? What's next? Not how did it go? And we did that barely just for the month. And I think you guys, I also saw you kind of do like, oh, how did the month of August go? The same thing with how did yesterday go? And we need to be that prescribed. We need to be that specific and that timely, because that's as we reflect and as we improve our time management, I do see more success coming to us, because that is how the top coaches manage. That's how they do it. That's how they run their business. They treat it like a business and they give it all the time that they deserve. And I guarantee you they spend most of their time in Q2 coming up with new things and executing on them and being extremely proficient with their time. Any questions in regards to that? I know it's kind of a quick and dirty training on that.
I would love it if we could make a Beachbody version to give to our coaches.
That's a great idea.
Like, this is what you should not be doing. This is what, because a lot of, like, I get that from my coaches where they're like, I sit down and I have a power pocket to do some work, and they're like, what exactly should I be doing? So I think it'd be cool if we like made a Beachbody version.
I'm not a virgin.
Of this, clearly with all those kids, of this, so that we could give it to our new coaches and say, or even our leaders, because as they get into the management modes, like Joe was saying, like, get out of quadrant 4, get back into quadrant 2.
Yes.
So, and have really, like Melissa McAllister, those slides as far as like what you should do, what you should do during this as a diamond and as a star diamond. I think it'd be good to like do this in a Beachbody version.
Ooh, look at you give me assignments. Seriously. Thanks a lot, boss. I completely agree. Melissa, that was one of my favorite presentations at Summit. That was phenomenal. Sorry, I'm writing down the assignment you gave me. Okay. It's our time has come, it's gone. Great stuff, guys. Hopefully, okay, so once again, I do this with every call. Now what? What are you going to do? This isn't a great call, close my computer, go back to work. We need to know what you guys are going to do differently that's going to improve your business. If you have a success partner, reach out to them, let them know. If you don't, pick me. I can hold you accountable. I'm pretty darn good at it. And we can make it work. But come up with something that you want to do to move your business forward, how you want to improve your time management, and let me or that person know. Let the group know, put it out on our group page, and we'll hold you to it. So great call, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you again later. Bye.
Bye.